and we need to honor all the 7 principles of Kwanzaa this year and come to atonement with ourselves. This is Africa Beat. My name is Tunde Okorodudu, your host, and of course, Tayo Oyekan, your co-host, is here with us today. And we are going to be having 2 special guests, I believe 3 of them, sisters who have traveled to Africa and several other nations in the world and going to be sharing with us some of their experiences. And we'll be delighted to have them on this program. But as usual, before we do that, we do have some highlighted stories of this week. We had 2 stories that we're actually going to bring to your attention. First of all, you know, Tayo, all along for over 20 years they've been saying the issue of AIDS in Africa. I mean, here's a continent, all of a sudden within 20 years we have over 40 million AIDS patients or HIV carriers. How does this whole thing happen? We had a theory that this whole thing is a germ warfare. It was concocted, and now we are almost being vindicated. Here is the latest from the United States Congress, and let me read this to you. Because they always say it came from one green monkey in Africa, you know, and
we've been always disproving that, and also not only that, how did it spread so quickly in Africa? Well, within like what, 5 years? All of a sudden, Africa has the most AIDS patients and children having AIDS, and we've been saying there's a conspiracy against African people. But go ahead.
I mean, this is what this is just hot off the press. The U.S. Congressman Trafficant's office have confirmed the continuing activities inside the U.S. General Accounting Office to openly investigate the missing appropriations, which spent over $550 million taxpayers' dollars to secretly develop HIV and AIDS. The Comptroller General, David Walker, head of the U.S. General Accounting Office, which is responsible for the investigation, that is the GAO, is to investigate arms of Congress. The GAO exists to support the Congress in meeting its constitutional responsibilities to improve the performances and the accountability of the federal government for the American people. Now listen, the investigation is in response to Dr. Boyd E. Graves' of years of AIDS activism and also of Ohio Congressman Trafficant's answer to the people's demand for the immediate review and deactivation of the HIV virus. Dr. Graves states, any review of the secret U.S. virus program and the experimental phase of the AIDS flow chart will yield immediate better treatment for people dying from AIDS, Gulf War illness, and other mysterious disease. Now, the key word in this story is that Dr. Graves is a black doctor. He's saying that we need to investigate how AIDS was developed so we can deactivate it and secure. If there is a creation of a virus, there got to be a cure
the other side,
for the virus.
And you, according to what you just read, over $550 million was put to this just to create the virus itself. And we remember Steve was here at one time.
Exactly.
And he gave us the whole analysis in some lab in Pennsylvania or someplace like that. That's where the whole thing was developed. And
well, the argument is that Africans are promiscuous. They have 10 wives, and so they can carry AIDS all around them. The men are they're not even disciplined. The image, and each time they try to portray that image is to really destroy the image of the black man. They have to use Africa as a centerpiece. And my job here is to expose that contradiction. The issue is that AIDS was developed here in the lab.
The first of all,
taxpayers' money were used.
You remember the first of all said was about green monkeys, Africans eating green monkeys. Can you believe that? Green monkeys or monkeys.
Well, we've been living with monkeys for hundreds of years.
How come all of a sudden, less than 20 years ago, all of a sudden,
full-blown
AIDS everywhere,
Well, the inoculation, we know when the World Health Organization goes into a war-stricken area like the Congo.
You have Doctors Without Borders.
You have all these doctors that goes in and say they're representing the World Health Organization, the United Nations, which has not, I mean, the United Nations, I don't know why Africans are even in the UN.
I don't understand it either.
I mean, they're supposed to have pulled out. If the United States alone can veto, whatever all decisions made by collective body, one veto, but then what's the democracy in it?
There's no democracy in the United. There's nothing united in the United Nations.
But these are the people who are now sending the people into World Health Organization.
Well, you have the Doctors Without Borders that can, like it says, Doctors Without Borders, which means, you know, they're not constrained by any border, you know, country's border. They can always walk within one country's borders and say they are going to help the citizen. They create a war situation where there's... have you ever asked yourself why there's so much wars in Africa?
Of course, you know the reason why. If there's a war, then you have a lot of refugees. When you have refugees, then you have a guinea pig farm.
Exactly.
When you have a guinea pig farm, you can send Doctors Without Borders to go in there and then, you know,
under the disguise,
we're helping you.
Polio
vaccine.
And they'll be injecting our people with the AIDS virus. That's how the thing spread.
So, you know, take note of that. But there's an investigation going on. If there's even an iota of concern that aid is concocted, shouldn't we start asking questions and stop blaming it on Africa? Africa has been the nucleus of civilization. All beings emerge from there. All of a sudden you want to blame any negative thing.
Any negative thing is on Africa. Now they're even blaming the terrorists now.
No, the terrorists, talking about the terrorists.
It's not Africans that, you know, being terrorized. Anyway, this came out of Nigeria. The Emir of Kano of Nigeria, Alhaji Adu Bamiro, has condemned what he described as the bully attitude of the United States attack on Afghanistan as unfortunate. In a chat with an American journalist that paid him a visit or courtesy visit in Kano, in his hometown Kano, last Monday, Bairo said the current U.S. attack on Afghanistan is rather unfortunate. The Emir said the Americans have not convinced the world that Osama bin Laden was behind the September 11 attack on the U.S. He also expressed concern over what he called the hostile attitude of American embassy towards the Nigerians seeking visas to come to the United States.
Well, isn't that because Nigerians came out en masse, you know, 500,000 Nigerians
against the United States,
marching for Islam in one time against the bombing itself, that there should be more dialogue than, you know, killing of innocent souls, you know.
Well, I mean, you know, since that happened, Nigeria has been a target anyway.
So now Nigerians don't get visas to come to this
country. They've been getting more difficult.
Well, we shall take that up. We are expecting our guests. They're coming late. We do have one of the sisters with us here already. Do you feel like joining us now? So let's just keep our chat. Can you just go around and just sit down with us here and let's just chat a little bit before their arrival. You know, we have three of our sisters who are going to be on this program, but they've just called, and please come closer a little bit. We are going to be discussing with our sister here who's traveled to Africa. Not only has she traveled, that she's now, I believe, an entrepreneur in Africa, or landowner, you know. I was very impressed when I read your little bio here that our sister Nsoroma, who is running late, sent to us. You are Sister Akinami.
Ankasinami.
Ankasinami. That sounds like a royal name in the ancient Egypt.
Yes, yes, it is.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's a privilege to have a queen in our midst. You know, queens to queens. Wonderful. Yeah, and you're a nurse practitioner.
Yes, and a registered nurse.
Wonderful. And you've traveled vastly. How many other African countries have you been to outside the United States?
I've been to, in Africa, I've been to Egypt, I've been to Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, you've been to Egypt. You beat me to that. I need to go to Egypt because that's one of the cradle of civilization. And how long did you stay in Egypt?
Egypt, I was there for 15 days with Dr. Ben Yokanan. Yeah.
Oh, Ben Yokanan. Okay, and then did you guys travel to around, visit to the pyramids and all those places?
Yes, we spent a few days there, but then we went south.
Okay. How did you guys see that the issue of broken noses and broken lips of our antiquities.
It was interesting because there was a lot of that, and Dr. Ben also pointed out, though, that there have been a lot of earthquakes there as
So
well.
they want to blame it on the earthquakes. So the earthquake pinpointed the lips and nose.
But there was a lot of that. The museum in Cairo was very interesting.
You know, for me, I think they're trying to conceal the actual features of the people, the ancient kings and queens, the royalty.
But there's lots of evidence. Plenty.
No, but they don't show the evidence here that much. They always, you know.
Here
when you go there and then you go to visit the museum, then you can see more of it.
And to me, that's the significance. That's why any person who wants to be truly educated should travel.
Travel. Thank you. That's the key word. Yeah. Travel. You know, travel. I'm glad you said that. We see we've always emphasized that on our show here over and over. We said, look, don't listen to me. Listen to other brothers and sisters who've been there.
Yes.
It's an education by itself.
And
You've traveled.
Even then, you know, I strongly recommend people go themselves.
Yes.
Because everyone who goes is going to have their own experience. I've been literally standing in the same place next to somebody, and we were having two different experiences.
It's true.
Yeah.
I agree.
So it's best to go and find out for yourself.
So you left Egypt. Was it on one trip that you made all these stops, or you went on several occasions?
No, I've been going to Africa back and forth since 1988.
Oh,
so, yeah.
wonderful.
The first place I went was Senegal.
Senegal,
okay.
So you speak a little French then?
A little bit.
Well, French, actually, in the true sense, French is not Senegal.
No, but you know, French
dominated Senegal.
It's an old French francophone country.
You know. So, well, one thing we know is that I've been to Senegal myself. Very, very beautiful still country. I was even at the Gorée Island. You know, very clean water. You can see your coin at the bottom of the ocean. You know, and I was impressed. We have a couple of our sisters arriving.
Well, it looks like
we'd like to. You can join us here, one on each side to join us. Please, one on each side to just join us, because we're having to go around, one on the other side. You know. Welcome. All right. So we are delighted to have you here. In fact, we're just discussing about the different trips that all of you have made to different parts of the continent, including Cuba.
I will be traveling to Senegal and Liberia and Guinea.
What's your name again?
My name is Amma.
Amma, okay, because I was your sister Amma from Guinea.
And Liberia and Sierra Leone.
Okay. You're a comedian also, huh?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you don't look like a comedian.
I am a stand-up comedian, trust me. You don't want to hear my mouth right now.
I can tell you.
We're already laughing.
You're already laughing.
Everywhere, that's people, you know, people say that. If people know, oh, you're a stand-up comedian. Yeah, make me laugh. Just like, okay, you know. Well, am I going to get paid? Because I don't work for free. This is America. You got to give me cash. No.
That's a comedian too.
Oh, are you?
Welcome to the club. You know. We used to have a program called The Laughing Matter.
I see.
When we were running the pro-democracy movement against the regime in Nigeria of Abacha then. So we had a program that he hosts on a radio station program called The Laughing Matter. So it's like political satire, you know.
Yes.
So give us a couple of those good old days.
Oh, you know, I used to just do a lot of impressions of different ethnic groups in Nigeria, like the Hausa, Igbo, whatever. You know.
Wonderful. But you know, the essence of today's program, why we invited you. Welcome, sister. What's your name again?
Kue.
Kue. Okay. Kue. You are the one who the honor roll in Oakland Technical High School? Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're now in UC Berkeley.
Yes.
Oh, and you went to Cuba?
Yes.
Oh, that's where I want to go. Cuba.
It's a great
You beat
place.
me to Cuba too. I mean, she beat me to Egypt, and you beat me to Cuba. What have I been doing? I need to go somewhere.
I want to go to Cuba.
Oh, it's a great place.
You know, because the Yorubas have
Yes.
extension there.
They do.
Of course, the Yoruba tradition of gone deep into all this coast, like in Brazil,
Right. Cuba.
Nicaragua,
Right.
Cuba, even in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Puerto Rico.
So let me first of all, we were talking with our sister here,
Akisanaman.
Akisinami.
Yes, yes.
But you know, you can see how royal that name is. You got to be careful when you
It is
pronounce
very
Akisinami. And you were talking about your travel to the last place you stopped of recent was Senegal.
Yes.
And you've even built a house there.
We're building, yes.
You're building.
Yeah.
Is that your own personal
Business that
residence?
again.
Or is it where you live or
It will be, but it will be basically a center. We're developing a center to provide cultural tours, and also to provide a center for artisans and craftspeople there to have classes for people coming there, and also to expose them to the world market.
Oh,
that's cool.
so you have some like consultants traveling from here, going there to, you know, like support the
Yes.
foundation or something,
Yes.
and then helping to educate the community there, right?
Yes. So, for example, if somebody here wanted to go and study the language, or if they wanted to study drums or drum making or dance or tie-dye or weaving, you know, or any specialty interest that they might think of that would be focused in Senegal, then they could come through the center. We'll help develop a program for them and provide them with the true experts.
So how do you intend to finance this program? Like, what's the funding source?
Well, we're looking at a lot of different things. One way is we're interested in establishing a nonprofit organization here.
Okay, international.
Fund
Like
it.
more like an NGO starting
Right,
something?
and also by bringing people from here or from throughout
Exchange
the West,
program.
that will also help finance it as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think that's a laudable program. And so when do you plan to go back again? Because I know, you know, one of the places that we always talk about in Africa that is very peaceful has been Senegal.
Yeah, it is.
Been to Senegal. Senegal.
Throughout the whole political crisis in many of the African countries, there's always been that essence of
Stability.
peace, stability, and democracy in Senegal. It might not be a big country, but I felt that sense when I was there. You
Yeah.
know? And I think I got to commend the people of Senegal for being able to rise above our division. And let's talk to Kuala Apara. Apara.
Yes.
Oh, really?
That's a Nigerian last name.
Apara.
Mhm.
Is that your daddy's
Igbo or
name?
something.
No, but he has a Nigerian last name.
Oh, okay.
He's
I
an
know
African.
Okpara.
Oh, do you?
Okpara.
Yeah,
That's
Okpara.
probably the way it sounds.
You know, but maybe that's what it means.
Okpara.
Because that's a powerful name.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
yeah, it's a powerful name.
Do you know
Okpara.
what it means?
Yeah, we know the
it means,
family. We know the
we know the
Okpara
family of the Okpara
Well known.
family.
Oh,
It's a
really?
warrior family.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they are
Really?
warriors.
Really?
You know, so you went to Cuba.
Mhm.
Were you sponsored by your school?
No, actually, I was sponsored by, well, there's a lot of programs in the Bay Area where you can apply for grants, and
Okay.
one group or center that gave us a grant was Kilambu, and another was the Pueblo, I think.
Pueblo, yes, Pueblo.
And I went with a sister named Gina Hill,
Mhm.
and then the name of our group was Together Everyone Achieves More. Todos juntos logramos más.
Oh, you speak Spanish too? Spanish,
You hablo español poquito, sí?
poquito. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
That's Tunde's favorite Spanish right there.
That's very good, very good, very good. So,
It
so
was-
when you went to Cuba, you know, you described your feeling about the community. Was there a large black community in Cuba?
Oh, it was an immense black community. It was a very big contrast because when I had just got back from Brazil when I went to Cuba.
Mhm.
And Brazil and Cuba, they have very similar, you know, roots in terms of, you know, the slave trade and all that.
Mhm.
But it was just the consciousness amongst the Africans in Cuba was just, it took my breath away. Like an 8-year-old came up to me, they had in Santiago de Cuba, they have this little orphan center, a center for orphans, and this one 8-year-old boy, he came up to me and he said, ¿Eres de la gente de Sankofa? Which means, are you from the people of Sankofa?
Sankofa.
And I was like, wow, that's deep. An 8-year-old asked me that, and I was like, yes, I am, but I had never.
What is Sankofa?
Sankofa was it's I think it's from the Oyekan people, the symbol.
Sankofa.
I'm not sure what the symbol means exactly, but I'm sure that what he meant, I knew what he meant, you know, and a lot of the kids were asking me about Amadou Diallo, and these are 8-year-olds asking me about that, and they were just like the orphan, when the sinner, when it was time to eat, this one little boy, Manuel, he grabbed my hand and he was like, come with me, and it was just like all the kids, like 50 kids, they took out the tablecloths, they put the bowls and the forks, they just set up everything properly, just like without having to be
supervise or
yeah,
anything.
they're just very serious people.
Disciplined.
It's a big contrast. They're really into